Giveaway results will be at the end. Hopefully there will be a point where I don't have to remind everyone.
Let off some steam.
Okay, welcome to Let Up Some Steam, Episode 8. Today we have a game that is a little different, an indie game released in early 2015. It's considered to be a roguelike game. I genuinely have no idea what that means. So to begin with, I was treated to a nice splash card, the game title, Overture. Lovely, nice music. I click on the Warrior tab. I choose the first character because that's really the only choice I have right now. The controls are casually handed to me on a transition screen, and then I'm dropped into gameplay immediately. I come across these guys, which I kind of felt bad for attacking. I mean, look at them. They're just dopey little guys, trying to get without being stabbed. Where are we, Birmingham? I discovered a friend, a disco cyclops that throws glow sticks, dragons, mummies, and that eventually turns into a bullet hell. Not only that, but I found out the absolute pain that are skeletal archers. Aiming from out your field of vision, crab dancing onto slow music on here, stealing your carrots from your vegetable patch at night right before the big farmer's market. Yes, Greg, I know it was you. And we have arrived at the first floor boss fight, where I discover I am even more incompetent at roguelike games than I was led to believe by being immediately overwhelmed by running into the enemy horde instead of turning tail to where I came from. Kinda like going over the trenches before the tanks were invented. After I played my first 10 minutes, I figured something out that was rather upsetting. I'm gonna have to grind a lot again. I say gameplay is simple a lot, but this time I mean it. It's literally just WASD, left mouse button, and right mouse button. There, that's it. The letter keys are self-explanatory, and the mouse buttons are your primary and secondary attacks. Primary attacks are either melee or direct projectiles that have varying ranges, speeds, and even accuracy. The biggest differences in characters is mostly visual. Sure, you spitfire as the arsonist and throw spears as the soldier, but they all come down to the same kind of attacks. The attacks that are most varied are the secondary attacks. For example, the soldier who drops a circle of I will fuck up your shittery, or the druid who will channel his furry side to become a wolf and I'm pretty sure increases your damage on your primary attack too, and then the arsonist who briefly turns the close vicinity into a crematorium. There are two types of enemies, ranged and melee. The only way they differ is damage and speed. Of course there are more than just two, but purely from a standpoint of gameplay, everyone is just a reskin with their stats changed a little bit, except for these dopey fucks. Look at them. Only thing they want is a hug. Apart from the secondary attacks, which are actually quite underpowered, everything is repetitive. Leaving out that there's more enemies per floor, everything's the same. You kill these guys, you kill this guy, then kill this guy, and you through to the next floor, and on it goes. There are, of course, various little tricks and things designed to ramp up the difficulty, such as these gravestones you might accidentally destroy, or traps that you'll barely see in the middle of intense combat, so the game can really keep you on your toes. The upgrade system is a bit bland, considering that all it does is increase your attack damage. What about movement, or even an extended health bar instead of allocating it all to the level up? But then it comes into the question of game balancing. But then again, it is a single-player game, so balancing shouldn't really be an issue if other players are on there to make it unfair. Hell, the amount of enemies that can screw me over is pretty unfair in my opinion. How do I finish this segment off? Oh yeah, the pimples annoy the shit out of me. The visuals are really cute. Everything has that nice little retro midget look that classic games had back in the day. It's colourful, there's a lot of variation in enemies visually, the pickups have their own distinct signs of their stats, which is a positive, but my only issue is when there's a lot going on, the game tends to start dropping in frame rate. Not only did the game cause performance issues for me, it also visually overwhelmed me to the point where I had no idea where enemies were coming from. Couldn't see the traps half the time, and yes, I understand it's there to make sure you're paying attention, but when it's buried underneath the ashes of my victims, it's not easy to make out. The music is really nice and obviously pays homage to soundtracks from games such as Castlevania, Final Fantasy, The Legend of Zelda, with strong melodies and their easily loopable composition. I like it, looks nice, sounds nice, probably smells like donuts. So the world is basically some kind of tower you need to progress through while it gets even more difficult with each floor. So to fill the world, they have many characters and colour palettes to show variation, but in the end it's all the same but with different skins. To fill out the world a little more, the game has 24 characters to fill the void, and here they are. Warrior, Knight, Soldier, Peltast, Barbarian, Brute, Ranger, Rogue, Duelist, Thief, Trickster, Bandit, Wizard, Witch, Warlock, Necromancer, Arsonist, Cleric, Priestess, Paladin, Monk, Justicar, Druid. Wow, that was one... Oh god, that was on one breath. Coincidentally, their birth certificates saying their names are Barry. Got to say, Invoker sounds more like a job title at a bank. So really, beyond characters and little information we have about the setting, there is no world. That's it. There's no story. I was honestly expecting this episode to be nice and relaxing with a small game that didn't take too much concentration, but no, I ended up with this game that gave me, honestly, quite a lot of stress. I didn't hate the game for it, far from it, it was fun, the action kept me excited, and for £3.99, you really can't complain about a game with this quality and effort put into it. Only thing is, due to how overwhelmed I sometimes got, I had to play other games to relax. I played Battlefield 4 to calm down. Battlefield 4, out of every game. Just for those who don't understand my point, this is the kind of game Battlefield 4 is. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure some of you are asking if I find that game actually relaxing. Yeah, I do. In summary, the game looked nice, played very well, had plenty of characters with fairly decent variety to play as, and even more variety in enemies, but it got repetitive, and I knew that if you had played more of that game, it would end up being a grind fest. I will admit, the furthest I went was floor 4 after 7 hours of playing the whole thing. I don't know if that's bad or not. So, will I say buy it for $3.99? Yeah, it's a worth it out of 7. It's giveaway time, yeah! This giveaway, the game is going to be Stronghold Crusaders 2, so the usual stuff. Comment, like, and subscribe, and you can get a classic management game, Stronghold Crusaders 2. Whoever won Rust, well done. Enjoy the psychotic 13-year-olds and rainbow-coloured death squads.